BodyBags, where horror lies.
Welcome back to BodyBags. This is week number 411. This is a label week, and the label is Shameless Entertainment. I'll be your host, Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and today I'm going to be talking about The Black Cat. The Black Cat is a 1981 film which runs approximately 92 minutes and is directed by the late, great Lucio Fulci. Definitely one of my favorite directors. I know it's one of Rob's favorite directors as well, maybe his favorite. Unfortunately, he passed away on March 13th, 1996, at the age of 68. Gone way too soon. Now, he was responsible for Murder Rock, which is one of my favorites, The Beyond, and my favorite Fulci film, House by the Cemetery. Now, this stars Patrick McGee in his demented best as Professor Robert Miles. Unfortunately, he passed away on August 14th, 1982 at the age of 60. He was in A Clockwork Orange, Zulu, and Chariots of Fire. Mimsy Farmer as Jill Trevors. She was in Guardians of the Galaxy and Poisons. Now, Professor Miles Warren was originally offered to Peter Cushing, but he turned down the role because he didn't like Lucio Fulci's reputation of making gory films. Now, I'll never say anything bad about Peter Cushing because he's one of my favorite actors of all time, but I think he kind of dropped the ball on that one because this is a really, really fun movie. Now, let me explain a little something about Shameless Entertainment. Shameless is one of the labels that I have two movies from, so I didn't really have a lot to choose from, and I knew The Black Cat has been done on BodyBags before, but my other one that I have is The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward, and that's being done by Lonnie on Friday. And this is basically what I had, and I couldn't get something else in on time in order to review it. So we are stuck with The Black Cat. But what a movie to be stuck with. This is awesome. And actually, the inside, it's going to be kind of hard to see, but this has the traditional cover that mostly everyone shows. Because I think one of the other reviewers did the Blue Underground. I know that Rob, who's also a Fulci fan, did the Arrow. So this is going to be a bit of a comparison and kind of my take on the Fulci classic that I believe is really, really underrated, along with Murder Rock. Very underrated as well. Now, this is a cover that I don't believe any of the other ones have. So that's kind of why I put it on this cover. And here's the back. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, Shameless has no problem with putting nudity on their covers, which is why I had to cover this part. A lot of people will remember Della Morte Dell'Amore. That was the only way you could get it, was on Shameless DVD and Blu-ray for a long time, other than the out-of-print Anchor Bay. So that actually had a cover that was probably one of the better scenes of the film. But yeah, depending on how you look at it. So, yeah. Now, I'm going to get into the plot. There's not a whole lot to it. But I wanted to explain the difference in transfers between two brands. Okay, you have Professor Miles, who has a black cat that he takes care of that actually kind of hates him at the same time. But he is a mentalist or a spiritualist, and he is able to project his thoughts into his cat to have him do things for him. So basically, we have a slasher movie, more or less, with a cat. Yeah, it's a silly way to look at it, but it's kind of the way I look at it, and I have a ball with this film. It's very inventive and very intriguing. And of course, since it's based on Edgar Allan Poe, you do get the ending, which is, of course, what the story is mostly known for. I'm not going to say what that is, but yeah. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. That's basically the story in a nutshell. But what I wanted to do was compare. Now, I had the Arrow DVD. I never had the Blu-ray. I did have the DVD, and a friend of mine sent me this Shameless because I had won a contest from him, and he threw a couple Shameless in there, or he threw one Shameless, I think. The other one I got from Eastwood Fan for Life. He sent me The Strange Voice of Mrs. Ward. But anyway, my friend Tony sent me this, and it was my very first Shameless DVD, and I was so excited. So I watched The Black Cat, even though I already had it on DVD, the Arrow version. So I watched this first. And then I watched the Arrow DVD version. And I noticed there was a very big difference in the transfer. Now, I'm not going to bash a company. This has been out forever, it seems like. Shameless, this DVD has been out forever. But I will say that the transfer in the Arrow is top notch. And it's a very noticeable difference. Although, this one is still very watchable. Still very watchable. So I actually got rid of my Arrow, because that's why I'm not showing it. I actually traded it to a friend for something else, because I already had the Black Hat. You would think I would have kept the one with the better transfer, but I don't know. I've always liked Shameless because they have these nifty yellow cases, and a lot of them look like the covers from the original Giallos, which I think is what they were going for. So, yeah, so I kept this one, and I've seen this movie maybe 4 or 5 times. And in reviewing it last night, I really, really enjoyed it even more than I had any previous time. It's a very silly movie, and I understand why people kind of don't like this film that much. I mean, people like it, but it's like way low in their Fulci rankings. But I happen to really like this one. I like it because it's different. I like it because he took a story by Edgar Allan Poe and did something different with it, which is something I always appreciate. Fulci's imagination is amazing. Always has been. I love his style of filmmaking, and I just miss him. I miss him. I think he's a great director, and yeah, just awesome. But anyway, that's my take on The Black Cat. Really fun film. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.